We are live. It's a Sunday morning out there, man. I got a couple of the fellas with me. We got a good, fun show of Context Matters. It's back in the flesh. We're doing the mornings this time around, though, so I like that. We'll be covering a lot in today's show. We're talking about the fights last night. We got Tank News, Belichick, coaching carousel, the LeBron drama with the Lakers. Is he returning to the Cavs? And a couple more topics if we get to them. But first, I'd like to just say, what's up, man? Good morning, fellas. How you feeling, Ant? How you feeling, Tim?
Good morning, brother. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Doing real good. Good morning. Good morning. What's up,
Hey, good
Ryan?
morning. Good morning, man. With the football season, kind of wrapping up, we felt it was a good time to come on and do Context Matters on Sunday mornings. Um, but yeah, man, let's just jump right into it. Enough of the pleasantries, man. We had some fights last night. Uh, we had the Shakur versus Tiafimo fight in the boxing, and then we had some UFC cards too, man. That Volkanovski, he defended his title against David Lopez. And that's the guy, man, Alexander Volkanovski, man. He's a dog. But UFC, just real quick before we get into the fights, I wanted to UFC went to Paramount last weekend.
hmm
You can watch the fights now with just a Paramount subscription. And it's a game changer, bro. It's a game changer. Some people was kind of complaining because there's more ads and stuff now, but bro, for 12.99 or whatever, I ain't complaining.
Right.
I ain't
Right.
complaining. But it was nice. I like the fights on Paramount.
Let's go.
I'm gonna start with you, Tim. Um, One, just your thoughts and your feelings on the fights last night. We can start with the boxing, the Shakur and the Tiafimo fight, and
Yeah.
then what do you think this does for Shakur, like moving forward in boxing and in his division?
Well, I'll tell you what. First of all, I was one of those guys who I had to become a believer
Hmm.
because to me, Shakur was cool, but he was a boring fighter. Kind of just fought for, like, in my opinion. I mean, he was a good boxer, but it was just he would get points. You know what I mean? And not necessarily aggressive. Like, he wasn't trying to whoop nobody's ass. He would always just try and get points and be a boxer. So to me, he was always a boring boxer. And then last night, I watched him straight dominate that fight. And as I said, he made me a believer. That fight was totally dominated from start to finish. Shakur, I think what to answer your question, what this does for his career is he mentioned it at in his post fight interview in the ring where he said I was following Bud Crawford, and I think he's trending in that direction. To be like pound for pound next best fighter in the world.
Yeah, and well, what's your feelings on that? Because I believe he's got two belts in two divisions now, or four divisions.
I don't know about how many belts he has in the divisions. I think obviously it was a dominant performance. Uh, as far as being pound for pound, he's going. He hasn't been tested. He's obviously undefeated. He usually puts on a dominating performance. I don't know if people thought he was going to dominate last night, but I like to see him test it. I mean, like Bud, we saw him against Canelo. We've seen Bud had some big names on his resume. And I mean, this was a big name for Shakur, but I like to see maybe a Shakur and Tank fight or Shakur and Roach. Get him some good competition, and then we can start talking more pound for pound. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, well, for me, that's what I'm hoping. I hope that this is the the main thing. I hope this starts for Shakur is his run of fighting the top fighters.
Right.
I think that's what he needs. I think he's got the record, he's got the skill, the ability, but now he needs the signature wins. And I'm not saying every fight got to be the top fight, but he got to start fighting people we didn't heard of. You know these people,
Yeah. And
and he is a four division world champion. I don't think he's currently holding all four divisions, but he's won the belt in four different divisions now. He's got junior welterweight, he's got featherweight, junior lightweight, and lightweight divisions belts. So he's starting to get the resume you need to be like, yeah, I'm one of the best. I think he is one of the best fighters out right now. But when you start talking about legacy all time, you gotta start getting some more wins.
There's
Yeah.
a solid maybe about 5, 6 of them in that range between
Hmm.
Tank, Shakur, Devin Haney. I guess if you want to throw Ryan Garcia back in the mix, uh,
Hmm.
I think Lomachenko. I think he retired. I'm not
Yeah, he
sure, but he
retired.
retired.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, just that, like you said, Roach. You mentioned Roach, Pitbull. Y'all know Pitbull Cruz, but
Hmm.
like it's a whole plethora of them that's in that group that I want to see start fighting. Fighting each other. You know what I mean? And like I agree with what Ant said. It's a start, it's a start but I want to see more of it. But he dominated that fight, man. He whooped his ass, man.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. Trey in the chat, I think he said something about, he mentioned Rolly. You want to see him fight Rolly. So
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't mind to see that either, to be honest.
Rolly was doing some bullshit in the crowd. He was in the crowd getting into it with. He was there at the fight getting into it with somebody in the crowd. And so yeah, man, that's what all of them cats, man. I want to see all them
Yeah.
cats. Like, it's time, man. Enough
Yeah.
of this, fighting to tune up fights. Enough of the tune ups. Let's start getting into the mix, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's time for people to start separating themselves as the
Agreed.
haves and the have-nots.
Agreed. Now
Um,
Lopez, sorry to cut you out, Ryan. Lopez, because he got dominated the way he did. I'm very interested to see where he goes from here, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I had Lopez. I did pick him to win. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some people said that was my cuz S Dot. Shout out to S Dot. Said that not only was that absurd for me to pick him to win, but he said Lopez wasn't even gonna win more than 2 rounds. And I believe Lopez only won 1 round, which was in that 7th or 8th round, I believe it was. But he didn't. Lopez looked like he was just totally outclassed, outmatched. Just wasn't ready. Wasn't ready.
yeah, the criticism for Tiafimo was his resume. Like, I believe he started off like 23-0, but he wasn't really fighting nobody.
Mhm.
And in my opinion, anyway. So now that there was nowhere else for him to go because he had a belt, so now it's like you got to start defending the belt, and I think that he got kind of exposed right there,
Yeah.
for sure. Um, I don't know if you guys are follow the UFC at all. I know y'all some boxing heads, but Volkanovski just tied Aldo for the most belt defense, championship defenses in his weight class last night. He was the double champ. He was the champion in 2 divisions at the same time, but he ended up losing in the upper division. He went up a weight class. He ended up losing that belt. And he was kind of like, fuck it, I'm going back to my shit. Because he was dominating his shit for so long, he had to go up because there wasn't nothing less for him to do. So he went back down to the 135s. He fought David Lopez last night, who is a dog. But he won. He won. They went the full 5 rounds. Volkanovski won, defended his belt, and he's tied Jose Aldo for the most title defenses in his weight class. So that's some big news. He's a legend in the game.
For sure.
And it was on home soil. It was in Australia yesterday too, so that was dope. But enough of the UFC and the boxing, man. Let's go over to some NFL, man. We're gonna start with Belichick. Uh, there was some news. The Hall of Fame obviously snubbed him, and he didn't make it. I think it was a snub. I think he was more than deserving. Definitely should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. Um, I'm gonna pass it to you, Ant. What's your thoughts on the Belichick decision? And is there any reason or angle that you've seen or heard or think of that will kind of justify leaving him off on this first ballot?
I think first hearing about it, I thought it was a snub. Okay, and I still think it's a snub. The only excuse I heard was that the one voter came out and said he had to choose between Belichick and Robert Kraft, because I guess with that being said, Robert Kraft's getting in the Hall of Fame this year. So same team, one's the owner, one's the coach. If that's their excuse, is that it was a decision between the two, and that's on them. You know what I mean? He's arguably the greatest football coach of all time. You know what I mean? If anybody deserves to be in the Hall of Fame first ballot, it'd be Belichick. You know what I mean? I don't
Mhm.
know if another coach has done what he's done. There hasn't been another football coach do what he's done with that many championships. So it's a snub. But if I think at least one of them, their excuse is that they had to choose between him and Robert Kraft, and I don't know how I feel about that. How do you guys feel about that?
I heard the little breakdown of the way it works, and Belichick and Kraft was in a pool of like 5 or 6 people, but you got to pick three. So you could have picked Kraft and Belichick, and then the third person to make it in.
Right, right,
And I heard the list of pool of names. I'll have to pull it back up. Belichick should be number one. Kraft should be number two in that pool. So
right,
using that as an excuse mean you put it in some other dude that he could have waited. I'm sorry.
right.
So that's just what I've heard about that too with that
Yeah.
pool of name.
From what I've heard and read and stuff like that, a lot of the voters, I guess, were contemplating because of the scandal with the Spygate that happened in the early 2000s, and then into the Deflategate that happened later on, between him and Tom Brady with that whole Deflategate. Remember that, the
Hmm.
Deflategate? So because of that, I guess that was blemishes, I guess, in terms of the voters. Also, they used the TO approach as to like, was he a good person to the media type thing? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, was he an asshole basically to you or not? They used that, in there, which, in my opinion, okay, so let's go, like, for example, to baseball. Okay, you see how in baseball they won't put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame because they believe he cheated, which he didn't even cheat on his own play. It was, other things, but whatever, that's here and there. But that was him cheating. They won't put Barry Bonds and others in because of the steroid era. You know what I mean? So that's their reason for that. Okay, cool. So at least for those two, I can at least, even though I disagree with it, I can at least understand your premise as to why you won't put them in. But then when we get over here to the NFL and we talk about one of the best receivers to ever play the game, in my opinion, if you're not talking Rice and Terrell Owens, and he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? And then you get the Coach Belichick. Now, we all know Belichick eventually is going to get in, especially after the uproar that happened this time. We know for a fact he's in the next ballot. But that's insane that Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. You're talking about the guy that has the most, I think it's the most playoff wins. I think he's second behind Don Shula in all-time wins. He has, what is it, 8 rings, 6 as a head coach, and 2 as a defensive coordinator. I mean, come on. What was that? Me, you, and who was that? Was that me, you, and Ant, I think, or me, you, and Ryan, I think it was. And then we had briefly brought up, or me, D, and Ryan. I'm sorry, and we brought up best coordinators. Remember that last week?
Hmm.
We had brought up best coordinator, and we didn't even mention Bill Belichick, who's arguably the best defensive coordinator maybe in the history of the game. You know what I mean? For his time with the New York Giants. But it's just blasphemy. It's just blasphemy. It's disrespectful that the greatest, arguably, football mind of our generation is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's disgusting work.
And then,
Disgusting.
but I just think it's so like their excuses don't even make sense because they're trying to use Spygate and all these like scandals against him, but then the owner gets in, so it
Like,
don't make no sense. And then it's like,
That's true. That's true.
and then also then Brady, like they're not gonna hold that against Brady. I
at
can
all.
guarantee you that.
At all.
So it once again it feels like the writers and the voters don't like him personally because maybe he's a little smug in the post game interviews or
Facts.
he ain't trying to really talk and do all the politicking and be friendly, so to speak.
Mhm.
That somehow that played a factor in him not getting in first ballot is because he's just not as likable of a guy. Rubs people the wrong way, which just really tarnishes the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think that this is the whole TL situation. What I felt like was ugly too, but he got away. They got away with it more with the scrutiny just because of T.O. was such a thorn in the side of people and locker room cancer. He got all these bad labels on him that it kind of got brushed under the rug. But this is another example of I think they need to redo either who's on the committee or the process in which they get their candidates, because you can't have it. It loses all credibility. So now, like when people make a first ballot Hall of Famer, it's like, all right, whatever. It's not. That's a prestigious thing, man. And it should be for the best of the best. And if the best of the best aren't getting in, it just loses its lore, so to speak. So I don't know, man. I think it's fucked up. I ain't gonna lie. I think it's pretty fucked up. And it was like, what you want them to? Well, you wait on them to die first, and then you gonna put them in.
Yeah.
So I don't like that, man.
And,
All right, and
you
then
got something, Ant?
I mean, the only thing I could say, I agree with everything y'all are saying. The only thing I can say is like when you mentioned T.O., and I know there's others didn't make first ballot, but what they should have as far as the performance on the field. You know, at least they're being consistent. You know, and I know being nice in the media, role modelish, ain't really what they signed up for. But if that has something to do with getting in the Hall of Fame, they're being consistent. Because if that's the case with Belichick, they did it with T.O., you know? So if you're going to do it with T.O. and not do it with Belichick, now you got a whole nother problem.
Hold on, but my only pushback to that is, so when you look at players like Ray Lewis, Brett Favre, he hasn't gotten in yet, but Ben Roethlisberger, there's a few others. There's a few others that I mean, even Deion Sanders had something going on during his time. But there's a few others that during their time, and it's not even a race thing, so don't even want to go there. It's not even a race thing. But there's a few others that has had scandal or situations during their time. I mean, Ray Lewis was through a whole murder case. He got acquitted of it, but he went through a whole. That is when they time came up, they was first ballot and got in straight up. You know what I mean? So if you want to be consistent about whether you being an asshole, but somebody like Lawrence Taylor, known crackhead, and getting in and getting in his mix that he was getting in during his playing times,
no, the
like
crackhead is
first
crazy.
ballot. I mean, he'd tell you himself, the man was a cocaine. He did do cocaine, right? And go play, but knock somebody's head off. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so like you telling me that, and he was first ballot player. You know what I'm saying? So you telling me that I can do like stuff that can maybe land me behind bars, go through court shit, and do all that shit. But if I'm an asshole to you, then that might stop me from getting in the first ballot. Like
Yeah.
that's
Well, I'm not saying that, but all right, take Ray Lewis, okay? The only thing Ray Lewis had against him was being charged with murder, okay? And he beat that case.
he beat
So
it, right?
Ray Lewis isn't a murderer, first off.
No,
You know,
I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
call him a murder. I'm saying that he
no,
went
no,
through the.
but I'm saying if he was found guilty, then you can't use the fact that he was tried against him. It would be like saying he's no different than me and you. He just got tried. He was innocent. Now I'm not saying Belichick shouldn't be in. If it was up to me, he would be in. I'm saying if you're going to be an asshole to the media and they've kept people out for being an asshole to the media, at least they're being consistent. That's all I'm saying. And now whether I think it's right or wrong, that's a whole nother story. But if you're going to be an asshole to the media and they've kept this guy out, and now they're going to keep Belichick out for the same reason, okay, they're being consistent. That's all I'm saying. And as far as Lawrence Taylor, that's a whole nother thing. I mean, he was just the best one doing it. Everybody was doing that shit back then. Everybody. I mean, we've heard stories. You know, I mean, I wouldn't put anything against him for getting in. I mean, Michael Irvin, looks like he's still doing it. You know what I mean? But I think Belichick should be in. I do. But so T.O. should have too.
That's what I'm saying. I think
That's it.
I think I don't if you're gonna be consistent and that's what you're trying to be consistent on, then that's a mistake. You can't be consistently keeping people out because of their personalities. Then it's like, okay, yeah, you might not be able to say they're not consistent, and it's like, okay, they're being consistent, but it just needs change then, flat out. Yeah.
I think we all would agree that somebody like Antonio Brown, right, is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Y'all agree with that?
No.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, he had a nice
I
run.
think
But
he's a Hall of Famer, but first
he's all
ballot.
family. I don't know about first ballot. I don't know.
Yeah. I think he gets in. I don't think
And I
Antonio
will.
Brown.
I got to double back, Tim. Belichick was blessed when he became the defensive coordinator of the Giants. Believe they'd already won one Super Bowl before he got there.
No, he got two together with them.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if they won before. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it like that. I don't know if they won before he got there, but I do know he has two with them.
Okay. That's cool. But that Giants defense was already top notch before he got there, though. I mean, he came into a really good situation. Not taking nothing away from him, but that was a good situation to be in. It was, bro. I mean,
Wasn't he there when they got Lawrence Taylor?
No, Lawrence Taylor. There's an interview where who was the head coach? What's his name? Parcells.
He was the head
Bill
coach, Bill
Parcells.
Parcells. Yeah.
Okay, he went to Parcells and said, "I'm not listening to this motherfucker. Like who the fuck is this?" The Giants' defense was what they was before he got there, and I'm not taking nothing away from him, but that's a fact. And Parcells told him, "No, you're gonna give him a chance." And I'm not making this up. It's out there. We can look it up after the show. But
I got
he
to
was not a believer in Belichick when he got there.
They didn't win until Belichick got there. I mean, I don't know what I gotta check that.
Belichick was a coach on the New York Giants from 1979 to 1990. He served as defensive coordinator, though, from 1985 to 1990, 5 seasons. He did win 2 Super Bowls, 86 and 90, both as defensive coordinator on the New York Giants. Before that, from 1979 to 1985, he was a linebackers coach. And then Lawrence Taylor was, I think he was in that. He was in the 1981 draft. So he was on the team for 4 years before. Now Belichick was already there.
Exactly. I thought so.
And he was a linebackers coach.
So I coached that motherfucker, boy. I told you, I know what I'm talking about.
He wasn't a
coached
defensive
his ass.
coordinator. LT was in the league 4 or 5 years before he became the DC. So
Right.
yeah.
And he did not want him as the defensive coordinator when it first happened.
But Belichick also had, bro, you got to remember too, though. Belichick also, with the Patriots, though, he's also had a top 15 defense damn near his entire tenure there.
Okay.
I mean, I've never known the Patriots to have a lackluster defense during his time there. I mean, he's always been a solid, great defensive mind, at least to me, in my opinion. But I mean, still though, it's crazy that he wasn't first ballot though. That's insane.
Yeah, and it does say here, Lawrence Taylor considers Bill Belichick one of the greatest coaches in NFL history, but he does acknowledge that he doubted him in the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah, he did.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't want to take. I think Bill Belichick is. If he don't make it, if you're saying if we start questioning his resume, and then it's like nobody's gonna be first ballot Hall of Famer for a coach.
Exactly.
No, I definitely wouldn't question.
Because then you can start questioning Andy Reid. Shit.
Right.
He's the only other one that's got a chance. I mean, maybe Sean McVay. He's got a chance, probably, if he could get it, because he's just so young, he could get more Super Bowls. But right now, the active coach is probably Andy Reid, the only other one that's got a chance at being a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid. I mean,
I think there's more.
I think you need more. You need more. Like Mike Tomlin is a legend.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he is.
Super Bowl.
Doesn't matter. Never lost a season.
First ballot. He's never had a losing season. Like if we're gonna, I mean, I get that Belichick. I get that his, Belichick is up here. I get it, right? So I mean, he's in a whole.
Putting Tomlin in as a first ballot over Bill Belichick. Now that's just.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Because you did this, now you can't. I get that. You know what I'm saying? Like you've already set the precedent. But because I'm saying Belichick is a first ballot himself, but also Mike Tomlin is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
What about John Harbaugh then with the Ravens?
He can wait a year or two. Mike Tomlin's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Andy
See, what's
Reid is
crazy, what Mike Tomlin is, it's more than his Super Bowl. It's the never having a losing season is way more like on his Hall of Fame resume than
That's huge.
it is. Even though it's fucking 9-8, it ain't
No.
fucking.
Don't matter.
Semantics like a motherfucker for sure.
Hold up.
Man.
Nah, man, that's none. No. Never having a losing season. Never. Not one. It ain't
That's
8
hold
9.
on, but
It
that's
ain't
so.
8
But
9.
that's perspective like a motherfucker though. Because
How?
look, because he's had the whole like Ryan said 9-8, but there was times where they didn't make the playoffs. Like, so I mean, so
We're not saying he made the playoffs every year. We're saying he never had a losing season. He's a winner in every
absolutely.
aspect of the game.
If you
He's a
don't
winner.
make the playoffs, you're a loser.
Yeah, I'm
No, that's
saying
not true.
like
That's not true at all.
he can
That's
wait a
not
year
true
or
at all.
two. He can wait a year or two too, though.
No.
He could.
How many years did Mike Tomlin coach?
I want to say he damn near 20.
20 years, never lost one season. What are we talking about? 20 years. If he
We
coached for
talking, we
20
talking
years,
about them being mid for the last
That's what I'm
decade.
saying. That's perspective to me.
bro,
And I'm sorry. That's perspective to me.
okay.
He coached
You as a fan, as a fan, let's say Ohio State. You love Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't make the playoffs, the college football playoffs, but their record is plus 500.
and
You
Apples
okay?
and oranges. That's apples and oranges.
also too. What's they play? Well, how many years since they won a playoff game? A decade? 10 years? 9 years? His record. He coached for 19 seasons. His record's 193 and 114. He's got a 628 winning percentage. But it's been a long time, man.
And maybe that's why he's not the coach anymore. I'm just saying. I mean, all right, somebody else named me a coach that coached for 20 years and never had one losing season. Just I'll wait.
I don't like to take stuff from other shows or anything like that, but I love on that Joe Budden podcast when they be like, you podding, basically saying you just saying shit for the camera, brother. Because I don't get how you could call that apples and oranges. I don't get how you could say there's no
Ohio State,
way.
comparing Ohio State making the playoffs to the Pittsburgh Steelers making playoffs. You think
No.
that's
I'm
comparable?
saying you as a fan. I was saying you as a fan. If your team, I just use Ohio State because I know you love them the most. But I was saying you as a fan. I mean, you like the Bengals. I'll use them. You
Okay.
as a fan, if your team is not in the playoffs, but you look at the record and you see it's plus 500. You as a fan, you telling me you are okay? Like you like, oh, we good. We had a winning season. We're good.
That's not what I'm saying at all, bro. That's not. What I'm saying is this. Take another NFL head coach that coached for 20 years and never had a losing season. Just name me one, and I won't say nothing else about Mike Tomlin.
But what I'm saying is
20,
there's
I was
somebody else
17.
that
I was
there's
17 years old 20 years ago. He ain't
there's
lost. He ain't had a losing season since, or ever since he took over. Now,
It's
okay, you want to talk
definitely
about playoffs? You want to talk about playoffs? That's cool. But guess what? To be solidified, we all know. I mean, and don't get me wrong. You got your Belichick's that have multiple rings. You got coaches and players with multiple rings. But to be solidified, all you need is one. Correct? I mean, ain't got the standard.
I
a
think so.
championship.
In the NFL, yeah.
All you need is one. Does Mike Tomlin have a Super Bowl ring?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so it has a Super Bowl ring and never ever lost a season in 20 years. And I don't see what the argument is.
The
There's a
argument,
lot of argument, man.
yeah.
Now
The
you're making me.
argument
Maybe he
is,
ain't first, but now you're making me switch. Cause go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
yeah. It's not it's not as cut and dry as you making it seem
It's
to
not.
me.
It's
Because we're not arguing. Is he a Hall of Fame coach? Of course, he's a Hall of Fame coach. What we're talking about is he one of the elite coaches, not of his generation, of all time, and that's what first ballot is. And yeah, the last 10 seasons, he never had a losing season, and that's a feather in his cap. But guess what? In the last 10 seasons, they don't have no playoff wins, not even one, not a wild card, not nothing. So, so half of your reign has been the last 10 years, right?
Mhm.
And you haven't won a playoff game. When you inherited it, the first 10 years, you had a Hall of Fame quarterback that you inherited. So you
Okay.
came in with a Hall of Fame quarterback. When he got old, you ain't won a playoff game since.
Okay.
So now you have lost some of your Hall of Fame first ballot lore is Ben Roethlisberger's estate, because now he's gaining some momentum. Like, okay, this Hall of Fame coach ain't did shit since I retired. So and Ben Roethlisberger won a ring before he got there, and he won one with him too.
What's the name of this show? Context matters. There's a lot of people who would agree, who would tell you, or that they feel that, like Ryan said, he inherited. They feel he won the championship very soon after
Them Bill Cowher's players.
Bill Cowher. Right after Bill Cowher got up out of there, he that team that was already in place, that was already there. He came in a few seasons right after they went up winning against the Arizona Cardinals. You know what I mean? And then now he did get back there. Context matter. He did get back there down the. Oh, I'm sorry. They beat Arizona. They beat or they lost to Green Bay. That's him. I would say that's him. That's his team right there when they lost to Green Bay in 2000. What was that? 9, 10 right in there.
Yeah.
But prior to that, that's Bill Cowher's team, man. He put that together. Same thing with like Tony Dungy and John Gruden, like, you know, with Tampa Bay. Soon as Tony Dungy leaves, Johnny Gruden jumps in, boom, and you know, they win a championship. But a lot of people will tell you, like, you know,
only difference is that Tampa Bay team never got over the line, so they had to switch it up to. It's like Mark Jackson couldn't get the Warriors to win it all, and then Steve Kerr come in, and then they start winning.
Right.
But Bill Cowher won a ring just 3
Right.
years earlier, so they that's something to remember.
Good point.
All right. First off, this is what I'm gonna say. All right. Saying that's Bill Cowher's team. Bill Cowher wasn't drawing up the X's and O's to win the Super Bowl that Mike Tomlin won. Period. Okay. We all know you got to go out there and execute. We all, you know, when a coach makes a bad decision, and I've been watching Ohio State, we all have for years, and some of the stuff Ryan Day's done against Michigan, we always say that's bad coaching. Okay. They're situational football, and Mike Tomlin did what was necessary to win a Super Bowl. Not only that, to get back to another Super Bowl, but. And that's fine, you know, if he hasn't been to a playoff game or won a playoff game in the last 10 years, that's fine, okay? But what I'm saying is this, and I just help me out here. I'm being serious. Name me another coach that coached for 20 seasons and never had a losing season. Is he the only one? I mean, because nobody can name me another one.
I think he's the only one.
He's the only one.
Yeah, I think so.
Never had a losing season. They couldn't even fire him at the end. He had to step down. You can't fire a coach with a winning record. I mean, he's a winner.
Perfect.
I mean, who am I to say so? But I just felt that word, the winning season. That's where I have the problem with, because did you have a winning season? I mean, you went 20 years having a plus 500 record. I like that better. But saying you went 20 years having a winning season and you missed the playoffs, that just sounds weird to me.
No, I mean, well, if we're gonna start rewriting definitions, then we can do that. But at the end of the day, we all play sports. If you were above 500 at the end of the year, you had a winning season. Period.
Facts.
We all know this.
No, facts. It's facts.
And to do it for 20 years in a row in a professional league, bro, you can't take nothing away from him, man. He deserved. I mean, bro.
When we get off the air, when we get off, I want you to keep that same energy when we get off the air. Because when we go into our college league, there's a player in our college league who has never made the playoffs in 17 seasons, but I believe he's had a winning season, a plus 500 season, damn near 14 of those 17 years. And we clown that person every time we get a chance to, because he's never made the playoffs. And you've joined in on that clown session. So now I want you to owe that guy an apology, because he's been, to your definition, he's a winner. To your definition.
See, you gotta watch Tim, bro.
That's crazy.
He's a little.
I'm gonna keep that same energy kind of person for sure.
He is
you know who I'm talking. Cuz he owe you an apology.
Sly guy over there. That's the sly guy. You gotta watch him.
He owe you an apology, cuz he's never lost. He's never had a losing season.
You gonna act like a video game is comparable to how hard it is to win in the NFL. Shame on you, Tim. Shame on you.
You know what I'm talking about. The context. Use the context.
Same.
He's trying to tell me that you can miss the playoffs, but because your record is plus 500, that is a winning season. We can't do that. We can't do that. Come on.
Because
What is he
college is so.
talking
You know
about?
what? I'm just gonna just. I'm gonna say this.
What
We're
is
gonna
he
move
talking
on.
about? Hold on. No. Can I
Because
cut you off,
you
Ron?
got
Please.
you if you have a winning record, it's very rare that you miss the playoffs in the NFL. Okay, so he's made the playoffs a ton of those years. It's only been 1 or 2 seasons where Mike Tomlin didn't make the playoffs and had a winning record. You can it is 100. It might be 50 teams, maybe more, that have a winning record that don't make the playoffs in college. It's only 12 spots for 136 teams.
Right. It's completely different.
Yeah, yeah.
Completely
You
different.
guys are letting the college go way over. I was using the team Ohio State because that's his team. So that's why I
You
switched
can't.
it
You
to the
can't.
Bengals because I was just using his
No,
team.
no. I'm talking about you talking about the college league and
Yeah.
Oh,
clowning.
no. Again, same thing. I'm using
Yeah,
the context because S. Dot has never been to the playoffs, but we all clown S. Dot because he's
yeah,
never been to
man.
He's never been to the. No, my bad. Because he's never made the playoffs, so we all clown him because we 17 seasons in and he's never made the playoffs. But Cuz has had a bowl game, which means he's been damn near almost every season. He's been bowl eligible, but we clown him because we call him a loser for never making the playoffs. But according to Ant, he's a winner. According to Ant.
Yeah, man. We'll see. His time is
Next.
coming. His time will be here, man. I don't know if he's gonna be a first ballot, man. But it's a debate for both sides. I do see both sides of it. Um, Next, man, I want to go to the coaching carousel, man. We got a lot of new coaches switching to new jobs. Um, I think the carousel was kind of headlined by John Harbaugh going to the New York Giants. Um, there was some moves. I mean, the Browns hired Todd Monken as their head coach. Robert Saleh, he's the Titans head coach. We got Stefanski, our old coach. He went to Atlanta. So there was 10 openings, and the Raiders and the Cardinals still haven't filled their jobs, but a third of the league has switched coaches, which is pretty unheard of, man. Usually it's like 5 spots open. It was double this year. Um, who do you guys think is going to have the biggest impact? And what was like the best hire, do you guys feel, of this cycle?
Best hire is Harbaugh to the Giants. I like that. I do like
Me
that.
too. Me too. I think
I like that a lot. I mean, they already got a good team, and then they're adding a good coach, great coach. That's a great hire for them. I'm not trying to double back, but I was trying to save it for this, but I didn't know it was going to be in the Hall of Fame discussion. I'd like to see Mike Tomlin get a job.
I would too. And you know what it screams to me though is I think Tomlin's going to do a year of TV
Okay.
and then take a year off, like what Sean Payton did, where Sean
Mhm.
Payton went to TV for a year and then he got the Broncos job.
Yeah,
I can see Tomlin doing that,
for sure.
and he's got the cachet and the clout where, like John Harbaugh, he wanted to get right back into it, but he
Right,
pretty much got to pick whatever team he wanted to go to. You
right.
know, Tomlin going, I think he'll wait because what Tomlin wants is he's gonna try to do the Jim Harbaugh where he'll go. I'm gonna wait till Chargers with Herbert. I'm gonna go somewhere where they already got a quarterback.
Hmm.
I think he'll try to pull a move like that where he like I ain't about to be dealing with what I was dealing with the Steelers the last 10 years. I'm gonna wait, and if the Commander's job with Jaden Daniels comes open, I can see him going there or something. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Right.
Um, Go ahead, Tim. What was your favorite hire this cycle?
For me, I know head coaches is the big deal, but for me, um, Mike McDaniel going to the Chargers, to your guy.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that hurt my feelings, man. I wanted him bad as an offensive coordinator. Mike McDaniel is in my opinion, is a great offensive mind. I forget the running back's name that was down there, but he turned him into like a great running back.
A-Chain.
Yeah, you feel me? That's my point exactly. Don't even really know who he is. Turned him into a solid running back down there in Miami. What he was doing with Waddle and Tyreek Hill, great offensive mind, and I think that's going to help Herbert. As much shit as I talk on Justin Herbert, I think that's going to help him tremendously in taking that next step into being that guy with a good offensive mind like him. And then you got an overall head coach and Jim Harbaugh, who's a good football mind as well. So to me, that's the best. That was one that stung for me because I wanted him bad in Philadelphia. That hurt me. That hurt me right there.
Yeah, definitely out of the coordinator hires, I think that's the most impactful one because I think he's gonna get them right, and he's got a track record of if you give him weapons, he can make lemonade. Uh, I think just by looking at all the coaches, obviously John Harbaugh to the Giants is the best hire just because he's proven he can lead a franchise. I do think it is. We was talking about I think this before, Tim, but I don't get why Jackson Dart is like propped up as he's just the guy. I didn't see. I mean, I've seen flashes. I've seen some promise, but I didn't see like everybody's treating him like he's just the truth, and I got to see more, man. So I don't know if the Jackson Dart piece of it is like so attractive. Like, oh wow, he's got a quarterback that they're gonna make some noise. But I just think John Harbaugh's the best coach that was available, and they got him. So, um, but man, I mean, I'm torn on the Browns and the Monken hire. I think no matter who we took as the Browns head coach, I was gonna talk myself into it as the days went on. You started looking over the resume, the track record. It does seem like he likes Shador. It does seem like he wanted him in the draft process. So getting a
That
coach,
interview was dope. That you seen that?
yeah,
That was
it
dope,
is
man.
optimistic to get a quarterback coach GM all aligned because Andrew Barry, our GM, was the one who it looked like he was the one who wanted Shador. So now that he's still the GM, now Stefanski's out. Monken wanted Shador. Shador's here. Give the kid a chance and see what he can do. And if he fails, then we'll replace him. It's no big deal. But I think it's giving him the best chance to succeed. If you're a Shador fan, I think you should really like the Monken hire. Compared if we went in a different direction, we might be looking at Ty Simpson late in the first round type of thing. But I think we will not take a quarterback early. I think we will roll with Shador next season. And like I said, how you feel about Shador is probably how you feel about the Monken hire. I'm kind of one of the only ones that's a Browns fan that's in the middle. Like, I don't really care about if Shador is good or not. I just want a quarterback for my team. So if it's him, great. I love you, Shador. Wrist up, let's do it. But if it's not, get the fuck out of here. We got to take somebody else. So, other than that, I actually do like Jesse Minter. I like him. He's the Ravens' new head coach. He was the Chargers defensive coordinator, but I think he's a pretty decent coach. I think the Ravens did good. And then I don't know about the Bills. Joe Brady, they just promoted their offensive coordinator.
I'm not mad
I
at
don't
that.
know.
I'm not mad. I wanted Joe Brady. If Phil, I mean, I'm cool with who we ended up getting, but he was another name in Philadelphia I would have taken. I mean, you were the guy behind. You just created a MVP in Josh Allen. You were arguably the name behind that.
I just get a little bit weary. Like it feels like Josh Allen had a lot of influence on the hire. And when you start hiring the guy because that's who your quarterback wants, I don't know. It's just he ain't Tom Brady. He ain't won no rings. So when you start altering the franchise, and I know that's what they got to do. You got a MVP quarterback, but I don't know if that always works out. Sometimes when the organization just picks who's the best coach, that's like you don't want players running the franchise, you know.
Go
So
ahead, Ant. You got something?
I was just gonna say I kind of like when teams hire promote within. You know, if you've done your job as an offensive coordinator, obviously the Bills have had one of the best offenses for the last I don't know how many years. Okay, they're always right there. Uh, I like how promoting within. You know what I mean? He earned a head coaching spot, and why not do it with the team you've been with? You know what I mean? Instead of having somebody come in that's gonna end up changing the whole thing. Do I think Allen had a influence on it? I really don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but still, that I think he earned it, and
mhm.
I think other teams should promote within a little bit more too. I don't see nothing wrong
Oh,
with that.
I agree with you. I think for the like teams like the Bills, where
Mhm.
you have winning records and you're going to the playoffs, but you just need a new voice. I think those teams should promote from within a lot more often than not. But if you're a team like the Browns,
Yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah,
losers, so we
yeah,
got a
yeah.
clean house.
Yeah, I
No
feel
one's
you.
getting promoted. Yeah,
I feel you.
we went 5-12. We need a whole new regime in here because
Right,
like
right. Yeah, I'm with that.
the stank of losing is just on everybody.
Exactly. Right, right.
Yeah.
Context matters for that for sure. Definitely, like you said, Ryan. If you're winning, yeah, it's much easier to promote within. If you lose, and like you said, you want a clean house. You know what I mean? To your point, to your guys' new head coach, I'm always if you can create if you can create a MVP or have a solid offenses inside of your team, like it's just like the context, man. It all like for example, it's Kevin Stefanski, right? To me, in my opinion, he's another name that I would have been very satisfied with if we could have landed him as the offensive coordinator in Philadelphia. Because to me, I think offensively, he's solid. You know what I mean? It's just maybe you guys, and I don't mean no, I'm not trying to take a shot or anything. Maybe you guys just didn't have the right personnel. You know what I mean? That to make his
Oh,
offense look, you know what I mean? That could have looked
yeah,
better than what it looked.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
With when you got somebody like Todd Monken, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but was he not there behind the 2 times for the Lamar Jackson's MVPs? Was he the offensive coordinator both times? Uh,
He was. I don't know if it was both times. Definitely one, but his when Lamar got his best passing seasons have all been with Todd
It's
Monken.
under Todd Monken. You know what I'm saying? Right. So again, another name I would have loved in Philadelphia because if you can, whatever you doing, Joe Brady, and you doing with those guys, if you could take and make MVPs and do that, I would love to see what you could do with my offense and stuff like that. I think Atlanta's going. I know Atlanta's not too happy with Stefanski because they feel like, I hear the fans in the chatter because they feel like you coming from a losing situation to possibly another losing situation.
And
But
they think that he was against Shador too. So
right,
that's another
which I
thing.
mean, I agree with. That's another. I mean, we can say that for another show, but
Yeah,
uh, but yeah, I think Stefanski is going to do dope down there in Atlanta. I really do.
yeah, yeah. My only thing, man, is like I would be more optimistic about coaches who have produced with lesser talent than not to say anybody can do it, but it's like, dude, you got a top 5 quarterback in the league. Of course he gonna ball out. Like, I don't know how much. I think it's like 80% the player, 20% the coach.
Mm.
And that's the thing where I get kind of worried. Is like, yeah, he just won the MVP. He's Josh Allen. He probably gonna win it. He's probably gonna have similar stats like this no matter who the hell is calling the plays because he's just a dog like that. Now,
80-20 is crazy, bro.
that was a little harsh, maybe 70-30, but that's probably as low as I'm going, 70-30. But it's the players, bro. They out there making the plays. The coaching is more important in NFL compared to other sports and football in general. Like it is, coaching does matter, but come on, man,
And I
these
like, for
dudes is
example, like in Miami, right? When you scheming up your players to get open, and like for example, when Tua, I think Tua is not a good quarterback. I'm not a fan of Tua. I don't think Tua is good. But a couple seasons ago, before he start busting his head up, Tua was looking really solid because you're throwing to a wide open Tyreek Hill or wide open Jalen Waddle because your coaches is scheming you wide open, a la Philadelphia when you got AJ Brown, an All Pro, Devontae Smith, 1,000-yard receiver, Jalen and Saquon, and the offense can't put up 20 points because your coordinator can't coordinate, and you know what I'm saying. So I'm
yeah.
damn near 50-50. Damn near, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. That
But
that shit matter,
you
man.
gotta think though, when in them like 2 year span when Tua was balling like that, motherfuckers still wasn't saying like Tua was top 5 or Tua was
No,
yeah,
no.
yeah. So like yeah, and Tyreek Hill was good in the Chiefs. He was good on the Dolphins because he's just
I
good.
mean,
You know
Andy
what I mean?
Reid, another great offensive
Yeah,
mind.
yeah. No, that's facts too. That's facts too. And like I said, I'm saying it's 70-30. I'm not saying the coaches don't matter all the way, but
Yeah, no, I got you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah. But all right, man. That was the coaching carousel. We're gonna get to our last topic of the day, and it's LeBron James. LeBron James.
James.
It's been coming out. He had been some drama with him and Jeannie Buss. I guess she was trying to trade him. The whole he should be more grateful. We took his bum ass son at all, and he just they've been kind of going back and forth. I think when this stuff starts coming out at the end, bro, it's over, and I think this tenure is over. I'd love to see him come to the Cavs for his little farewell tour next season, but I'll pass it over to you first, Tim. LeBron James, Jeannie Buss drama. What's your take?
I wonder if my brother Trey is still in the chat here, if he's still watching, because we get into it always bad about this exact topic right here. My thing with LeBron is, and Jeannie Buss, LeBron is 40. If he's 40, I get that he's great. He's a dog, arguably top 2, top 3, maybe number 1 in some people's eyes. GOAT. But he's 40. I do not think it is anything wrong with wanting to, especially if you're an owner, but as for fans, if you want your team to stay young, maybe you might lose relevancy in doing so, or maybe you might lose, your spot amongst the power rankings. But I don't find it anything wrong with wanting your team to stay young and building upward instead of getting old and now you're here. You know what I mean? So with Jeannie Buss, she was contemplating, arguably trying to trade LeBron. LeBron is looking like, what? How the hell could you possibly do that to me? Two things, y'all know me. 2 things can be true is my mantra. I live by that line. I have zero problem with nepotism. If I can get my son into a job, and especially the goddamn Los Angeles Lakers, cool, I'm gonna do so. If I could, I have zero problem with that. At the same time, me as a fan, take that shit on somewhere else, because I don't think Bronny is all that good anyway. But go do that somewhere else. That spot that and this is me speaking as a fan, because me is like, I'm looking at other players that could possibly have that spot. Or you look at LeBron, who's making $50 million a year. No, we might not get another one single player that's as good as him, but we could transition that $50 million into 2, 3 other pieces that could help a person like Luka Doncic and build. And you know what I mean? So trying to move on from an older player like LeBron, I mean, I know it looks ugly because it's like, oh, he came and saved y'all when the Lakers before he got there was trash. Post Kobe Bryant wasn't doing nothing, and he came. How would y'all want to get rid of him? And it's like, guys, we just want to stay young and relevant. What he did the first time there was great. Got a championship, cool. But he's 40. He's 40, 41 to be exact. I think. Time to move on. It's time to move on.
Well, my thoughts on it. It's kind of weird, I agree with what you said. It's okay to move on from an older player. That ain't nothing wrong with that. You're an owner. It's business. But if I'm trying to move on with you, why am I drafting your son? That makes no sense. And then I'm going to complain about you not being grateful that I drafted your son. So it's like, okay, what did you want to do? Did you want to keep him there? Because if you want to keep him there, let's draft his son. Okay, but then you complain I want to move on from for him not being grateful. It's not his job to be grateful. It's just weird. You want to move on, but you drafted a son. You complain about him not being grateful enough. I don't know if she knows what she wanted. Did she want to move on? Did she want to keep him there? Well, which one is it? Because if I was going to move on, the last thing I do is draft your son that most people don't think deserve to be there in the first place. Just doesn't make sense. Makes zero sense. Now I think it's a travesty that the Lakers were in a Buss family for ever. Dad had it, passed it down to his daughter. That's something obviously now you want to keep it in the family, but she sold it for billions. So it ain't that big, it ain't that bad. She sold the Lakers for billions. But as far as, she comes out, she wanted to move on from him. I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with that if you really wanted to, but my question is, why'd you draft his son? If you wanted to move on, it just doesn't make sense.
And you know what's crazy, real quick, before you chime in, Ryan, what's crazy, and you guys can look up on this, look it up, because I don't know exactly the context behind it, but you know what's crazy is she sold the team, but somehow she still owns the team. Y'all gotta look it up. It's crazy. Like she I think she sold stake, She didn't 100%, like y'all gotta look it up. I'm telling y'all, she sold it, but she's still they don't use the term owner, they say governor now, but she's still the team governor of the team. Like, but it's crazy, bro. Y'all gotta check it out. Y'all gotta check it out.
I have to look at that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You looking it up, Ron?
What happened is that she's no longer the majority owner, so she is a minority owner. She retained about 15%, but she is the acting governor, and she's running the daily operations still. So
Which is
essentially, they let her stay in place as the figurehead to run it, but she is not the majority owner.
yeah, she can be fired too. That's different. You know, she has a job.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, I still made my billions, and I'm still got my name attached. That's cool.
I mean, I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. I'm just saying it's different from being the owner. You know what I
Being
mean?
the
It's not
top owner.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also it's a not forever thing. So she's got a 5 year. It's a 5 year runway. They do this sometimes with the big ownerships because they want to kind of like transition it slowly into their ownership, learn the trade, learn how to do it. Yeah, so
Like
you
a
don't run the
like a farewell tour or some shit like that.
yeah, yeah. It's just better so the because the NBA, I think the NBA implements this type of thing because you don't want a new owner to come in and then the team go bankrupt or crash or So it's like it kind of protects the NBA that you gonna know what the hell you're doing in 5 years with a slow transition. My take is this. Okay, Lakers fans' perspective is gonna be different than everybody else because they care about the Lakers more than they care about LeBron. My thing is if you trade him, what are you getting for him? I mean, what team is going to give up real assets? And then he's making so much money. Half the teams that are contenders are probably in the apron. So now you got to match contracts like for like. And I'm not going to give you, for the Cavs instance, like, I'm not going to give you Darius Garland and Jared Allen to match the contracts up so then you can get LeBron, So then the only teams that could not match the contracts up like for like is probably a shitty team who's got a lot of cap space. And what are they really gaining by getting LeBron? And if LeBron's not going just anywhere, he's not going to Utah for a year or wherever. So the biggest thing that the Lakers could do is just not re-sign him. So then y'all can free up the money so y'all could go sign some people, and I think it's over. I think he should, huh?
I think either or. I think you're slightly missing it. I'm cool. I agree with that. If you do, just don't re-sign him. But it's like every time he resigned, it's like it's more than just a year. It's like 2-3 year type thing, or 2 in a player option or some shit like that, right? And especially if he got a player option and it's 50 million, you're gonna pick the shit up. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna decline 50 million.
Right.
My thing is the reason why I said you slightly missing it is because if we trade him, it ain't. I know you've heard the phrase addition by subtraction. If we trade him, notice the Lakers haven't won. First of all, the Lakers haven't won a championship or been in the finals. Yeah, we got to the Western Conference Finals a couple times, but we haven't been in the finals since the COVID year, the bubble year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so obviously we're here. We're on a flat plane. We're just, we ain't ascending. Might not be descending, but we just here. We just right here, okay? Which ain't good enough for me, especially a lot of the Laker fans will tell you the same thing. That ain't good enough. So my thing is, if you trade him, you might not get nothing right now in terms of another superstar. You might, because he's 40, you might not get 4 first round picks. You might not get that, right? But what you will do, like you said, the same thing of a possibility of as if you didn't resign them, you would free up your money so that eventually it's Los Angeles. Come on, it's Los Angeles. So let's say we suck for the remainder of this year. LA, a free agency down the road in the summertime, you're gonna get the big names. You know what I'm saying? It's LA. And if I ain't got everybody know how LeBron plays. Some people can play with LeBron. Some people instantly become sidekicks and got to stand in the corner when you play with LeBron. Nobody wants to do that. So they say, oh well, you ain't got nobody to come with to the Lakers while LeBron was there. Why would they come now? Because I can't play with that motherfucker. But if he getting gone, now I come, me, Luca, and whoever else the case may be. We do our thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see nothing wrong with that. But people take such offense to saying get LeBron the fuck out of here. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I am with you on that. I think he should leave. And I think, like I said, I would love the Cavs reunion. I don't think he can play. He can't go to San Antonio for a year. He can't go to, you know. I think he needs to just go back to Cleveland, do his farewell tour. A lot of tears. He'll be crying and shit. It'll be sad, whatever. And if he waits to the offseason and he's a free agent and the Cavs can sign him, they don't have to give up a lot of pieces for him. I would like the Cavs with Donovan Mitchell and the crew with LeBron for a year. I think they have a better team than the Lakers. So if they could add him without losing too much, I would like the Cavs as a contender in the East. I mean, the East is wide open, really. I mean, who you got? The Knicks. I mean, Pistons, the Knicks.
Pistons playing some ball. Philly seem to be getting back into the fold. I like what Philly been doing these last few weeks.
Yeah, so
Cleveland, of course, but
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So like it's wide open. He can make another finals run. Now I don't think that they would beat any of the teams that come out of the West, but those are juggernauts over there. But I do like their chances. I just think it's a match made in heaven, and he should leave. And as far as your nepotism thing, everybody hates nepotism if they don't have the power to use it. If you got the power to use it, you should. Yeah, my dad owns a company. He got me in here. But yeah, my dad works here for 20 years. He got me the job. Like, that's what you work hard in life for, is to be able to have nepotism and help out people around you.
Facts.
So,
Facts.
you know, well, the Drake line, you know, people with no money act like money isn't everything. That's exactly what that is. Money's not important because you ain't got none. But if you had something, you would think it's important.
Sure.
But yeah, man. That's our last topic, man, was LeBron, man. We're gonna be coming back not next Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday. I am getting married on Saturday, so I won't be here. I don't know if we're doing any shows next weekend at all, but the following weekend I will be back. So we're gonna be doing some different topics, and yeah, man, context matters, man. It's back.
Hell yeah.
As we Ant, go, you got something you want to share about anything?
No, just good to be back. Good to be on the show again. Good to be here with you fellas. Hopefully we keep it rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For me, man, you know, first of many with us three. You know what I mean? Ryan, congratulations to you, brother. You know, much love and everything to you and your wife. Congratulations to wife to be, to you and both of you. Much success there. Definitely looking forward to our future, man. And I mean, we'll discuss it. We'll see. I'm sure we'll put something together. Goes on for next week. You know what I mean? And looking forward to this, man. This is the first of many, but fellas, first of many.
And then before we get out of here, shout out to producer Will, and then shout out to our sister channel, Green Thumb Academy. Y'all been posting ants on there with D Will. They've been posting a lot of videos about growing marijuana from start to finish, man. The whole process. So all y'all potheads out there, y'all need to be growing your own weed. Y'all going to the dispensary, y'all overpaying. They putting chemicals in y'all shit. Got y'all limping, got anxiety, y'all looking all weird and shit. Nah, for real, man. Grow your own shit, man. You know what you're growing, you know what it is.
Eye twitching and shit.
Yeah, man. They in there lacing the shit these days. Talking about 41%, and this one's double crystallized. And yeah, nah, bro, that's not the way God intended it, man. Put your seed in the soil. Put your seed in the soil and let it grow. All right.
Also, me and D will be with you we got something big, by the way, this coming Wednesday. Me and D with a special guest. My brother gonna be on with us. We're gonna get into it, man. I don't want to spoil nothing, but this Wednesday NBA show, we got a special guest with me and D. It's going down Wednesday, man. Can't wait for that one. Can't wait.
Yep. So it's a lot coming, man. We trying to. It's a lot happening, man. So we'll try to keep y'all all up to date. But Context Matters from a sunny Sunday in Arizona. Hope y'all have a good one, man. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.